Then we gotta wrap this baby up to today. I gotta be on road. I'm headed to Canada.
Oh,
It'll be there when we get there.
last I heard, they're not moving.
I've got a ball game to attend to at 4 o'clock in Warville.
Oh, wow.
Where's that at?
Warville, Lake of the Woods.
Oh.
How
far drive?
Fishing exercise. Tomorrow and. Nice o'clock, yeah.
How far a drive is it?
It's,
There's still ice up there.
oh, yeah.
Thank you.
It hasn't broken up yet, but it's just really.
It'll get dark.
Just 2 weeks ago. Son and dad, they're out ice fishing, and there was 3 feet of ice yet.
Be honest, on my way home from Rapid City, okay, it's 70 degrees and it was driving to the neck of the ditch and it's all white. It's still in snow, so it's safer.
Yeah.
That wasn't, it was like, a little bit.
Oh.
And it looked like, yeah, it was purpose. So.
9 o'clock.
So, yeah. What is that?
Alkali.
Okay.
Morning. Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's Elvin. Where's the bottom? Oh, yeah.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is 9 a.m. We'll call the meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. As I said, it is 9 a.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance this morning, and we will have Brenda lead us this morning.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Auditor Hanton, for that. Just a reminder to please silence your cell phones this morning so they do not disrupt the flow of the meeting, and then don't forget to turn them back on. Call for public comment this morning. Public comment may be submitted in person or by telephone by calling 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. Any conflict of interest items this morning?
No.
No.
Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4. This is action to approve the April 21st agenda.
So moved.
Second it.
Motion by Gable, second by Schwer. Any discussion on the agenda? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Action to approve the April 14th minutes. So move.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by McElhaney. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is discussion possible action regarding funding with Deanna Kunkel of the Codington County Conservation District. Deanna? Okay, come on up here, Dan and Deanna.
Both of you can come up, yeah.
No, just come on up
Come
here
and
and
have a
seat.
chair.
Get to break the threshold this
No, it's
morning.
not a hot seat. It's a comfortable chair.
On your microphones, there's a little round white button. If
Push
you could
that
just
button.
push the
The light will
button.
come on.
We haven't used the
Push the
eject
button
button
here.
yet on either one of them seats.
So you want to push this button down?
I did.
Yeah,
Yep.
go ahead and push that. Please identify yourself and who you're with, and you can begin.
I'm Deanna Kunkel. I'm the district manager of the Codington Conservation District.
And I'm Dan Conkey, and I am one of the board members for the Conservation District. And we are here to discuss or request that we could get some funding support from the commission, from the county. And we know that in the past, I don't know what year it would have been, but approximately 1996, we were getting 7,500. And in conversation that I've had, it was the district had funds at the time and the county was short on funds. So they agreed, the board at that time agreed to drop funding to allow the county to have more funds. But throughout the years, the funding has dropped off. Funds have dropped off what we've had coming in for operating. And you guys can go through and look at the profit losses and what we've had going on over the years. And costs have increased, like labor, fuel, repairs, and we're still trying to provide all the same services. CRP has dropped off, so like some of the incomes that we've had where we plant CRP for the landowners in Codington County and also some of the adjoining counties. So when I started on the board, I didn't realize that it was started in 1942. And it started after what was the Dirty 30s. And it started on a federal level, and the districts were set up on a federal level, assigned to the states, and then each one of the states could determine how they were going to fund their districts. And South Dakota decided at that time it was for tree planting. Well, we don't make enough money planting trees to operate. So we're trying to do things where like we've had the fabric to it. In the past, they used to have lots more funds because if you guys remember the retired farmers that used to go around and till all the trees, none of those services are used anymore. So we need the income to pay our manager, and things that we have her do is go around and educate to the younger people. So she goes to different events. There's rangeland days. This is a statewide and national thing. And what it is kids 4-H, they don't have to be in 4-H, they don't have to be in FFA, but they can come and they spend a couple days and they work with extension out of SDSU, different grassland organizations will come and they teach the kids what different grasses are so they can identify what grass species are growing in pastures or on grasslands, and also what are weeds and what aren't weeds. The example I've got with that is like where we are in a lack of education is we've had CRP projects where through the district, this is like me personally, I've had an issue where neighbors think that it's all weeds and it's actual plants. And they raised enough stink that we end up having to spray it all off. And some of it's $400 a pound for these grass or flower seeds. So there was like black-eyed Susans and all these native forbs growing out there. And we sprayed off half a section of it because he thought it should only be grass.
And
So
CRP is the Conservation Reserve Program.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that stands for.
and what that is where producers can come in, they lease their land to the federal government and they get a payment for 7 or 12 or 15 or years. And they have to pay a share of the input to start getting it established. And then they will get an annual rent check from the government to leave it in grass.
And that's one of the services that the district provides is we'll go out and plant that for the producers, because a lot of them don't have time or the drill to do it.
But other things that Deanna goes to is there's an Arbor Day where they go to the schools and teach the kids about planting trees. We give out Black Hills spruce plugs at that event. Deanna gives out trees at the 4th of July parade instead of candy or stickers. Deanna puts on a master gardeners program where people can come in and learn how to take care of gardens, prune trees, and those type of events. We've planted CRP since 2021, 1,769 acres. 132 acres of trees since 2021, and 2,332 acres we've rented out a no-till drill. And what that goes to is producers that don't have the equipment to plant no-till and they want to try it, they can rent a modern no-till drill from the district and try it. And hopefully they would start no-tilling instead of doing tillage and plowing.
And the thing we have with both of those drills, they're both over 10 years old, and we haven't had the funds to trade them in to get new ones. So now we're having to spend so much on parts and repairs every year, because we want to try and keep it useful for those guys. So when they use it, it does what it's supposed to do.
And we also, support the 4-H. We support their sponsor with their shirts, and on achievement days, Deanna works at the lunch counter, those type of events to try to promote conservation. We're sponsored for FFA land judging, and like the land judging and range judging, me personally knows that that is a benefit to have, it's like my son started going to rangeland days and he's involved in FFA, and he and his teammates now have qualified to go to the nationals in Oklahoma for rangeland. Some of the surrounding counties around us that receive funds from their county, the districts around us that receive funds from their counties, Clark County provides 14,500 to their district. Day County provides 12,500. Dual County is 12,000. Grant County gives out 25,000. So just for examples, what other counties around us are giving. The other thing is,
That one.
okay, go ahead.
In the past, after I started in 2020. I contacted Cenex when you guys were getting your fuel from them, and they would match the price for us that the county was getting. Well, since then, you've gone with another company and you have bulk delivery. So, we don't have access to that because we don't have a storage facility at our place. But other counties such as Minnehaha County, they work with their county in that they get a card and then they can go and get gas, at the county pumps, but they have a separate number and then the county bills them. So that way they're saving on fuel costs. And of course, this year fuel costs are higher, so that's something that, we're hoping maybe we can work something out in the future, if not this year, but that would help keep our costs down a little bit by getting that discount on the fuel as well. And then like Dan had said, when the state, established the conservation districts in 1937. They said trees were the only way that districts were gonna make money, so we don't have taxing authority. Like Game Fish and Parks has those license plates and they're making, money, $50 a license plate. We don't have the authority to do that. The only funds that we have to keep our doors open are the services that we do. So the trees that we plant and the CRP that we put in the ground, and like I sell fruit trees. That's the only place we get the money from. So we don't have enough money to keep everything going. So that's why we're here asking. And what I handed out to you guys was our annual plan of work. We do this every year and we update it. It talks about the things that we as a conservation district want to do, what our mission is, that it's to make available the technical, financial, and educational resources to ensure the conservation district's wise use of soil, water, and related natural resources for the benefit of its residents, which is every resident in Codington County, whether they're in town or on the farm. We're not just worried about the farmers with the shelter belts and CRP. People in town, when I do these clinics and stuff, trainings, I'm educating anybody that wants to learn. So plan of work, we turn this into the state every year. So we review that, how are we meeting our goals, and we adjust what we need to. The other thing I gave you was the 25 progress report. And that's pretty much everything that we did throughout the year. And then I also gave you the profit and loss, which shows that at the end of the year, our net income was $20,000. And that's not enough to keep us going, because when we plant these trees, we're getting payments in June or July. And the CRP, we're getting payments in the spring or in the fall. But then once it freezes, whatever we have in the bank has to get us through until the next summer. And that didn't happen this year, so. Anything else?
And this is last year was the first time that we actually had to apply for an operating line to cash flow us through till we could start getting our payments for doing services for the county. Things that we could also do more of, I feel, is if we worked more with the highway department, we could plan with producers on where to plant trees to help with snow. And when all the issues with all the dirt blowing around, if we work more with producers in certain areas, it's being able to reach out and get them with only the limited staff that we have, because that's what we can afford.
And that's me.
And that's one,
And
Commissioner.
One of the things that you said, you know, where to plant trees, but I also wish that you would do a little bit more work on where not to plant trees. It's unfortunate, my neighbor planted some trees and they were too close to the road and those tree planters should be educated and know where they shouldn't be planting trees because of restrictions, whether it's a blind corner or too close to the road or something like that. But now, I will commend you. I've been sitting here for 16 years and this is the first time I've seen this. First time. And I appreciate that. I think being an ag all my life, I have a pretty good idea of what you did do. But this spells it out very clearly what the soil conservation does. And we appreciate all your work and I appreciate you doing this.
Question on that, the tree plant that you're referring to, was that something that the district did or did something they did on their own?
District,
How long ago was that, do you know?
just last year.
Oh, was that where we had to come and get a variance?
Yeah.
Yep, and that was in part to the person that planned it, and it wasn't the district that planned it. We planted it, and we're the ones that actually told the planners that there were issues with it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
But we appreciate your time, and I guess that's what we're looking for is help to keep running so that we can keep providing those services. And I should mention that Dan talked about the dirt blowing. The conservation district is the one, if people have complaints about that, we're the ones that are authorized by the state to take care of that and work with that landowner. So that's one of the other services that we provide, so.
Commissioners, any other questions?
Just have you asked any other jurisdictions for help? Because we're entering our budget cycle.
That's why we're here now, because we know it's the beginning of the budget cycle for next year. Who else would you suggest we ask?
Not
Because the
sure.
only way,
In the past, I mean, have you done that with other entities? Like you mentioned 1996 was the last time.
well, that's when they were here, and at that time, there was lots of CRP acres. So the district had all kinds of money, so like he said, with the shortage. And we haven't since then, but every year now, the board is saying that it's getting worse and worse, so that's why it's like, okay, we have to do something, or we're gonna have to fold. You know, and then the services disappear altogether.
Well, I think we would look forward to a proposal from you on what your ask is. If you want to submit that to us, then when we get into the budgeting process here, then we will consider that.
Well, one of the numbers we had we were talking like the 25,000 is what we were talking about, because that would roughly pay about half of our labor.
Cause we have, the labor costs in the spring, you know, now kids can go to McDonald's and make 18 bucks an hour. So if I'm gonna get kids to plant trees for 3 or 4 weeks, you know, I can't offer them 12 bucks because nobody's gonna show up, so.
I would like to see a written proposal.
Yeah, we'll bring you
Okay.
that.
And Dan, with it, I know you got some more board members here. Would you introduce them?
Yes,
So the rest of,
we have Mike Paulson and Ken Bundy's our president. We also have Ryan Marr, and he's here with us, and he works with the NRCS in the FSA office, the Farm Service Agency. And so he comes to our meetings, and he works with the producers along with us on setting up what programs are available through the federal government to support planting trees, CRP. And then we work with them on how the tree plans are gonna work and how their CRPs would get planted.
Yeah,
So-
cause there's nobody else in the county that will plant trees, so we're the ones that do it.
And other entities that we are doing things with, Game Fish and Parks, Ducks Unlimited. They're helping with, we have a mower that we mow, clip CRP with. And it's a 15-foot batwing, so, and new seedings are obviously look terrible, most of them, and until the grass is established. And we go and clip those for the producers.
And we got funding from DU on that, Ducks Unlimited. When you say the other funding, really the only other place we can go is to the state. And that would be, you know, we're talking to our legislatures, but that's gonna take state action to change the
Yeah.
way that we fund, so.
Yeah.
We know how fast that moves.
Yeah, if you want to draft that written proposal to us, and Steph will take that into consideration come budget time here.
Is there a
So-
deadline when we need it in here by?
Brenda.
Yes, so sorry, budget request, if you could have it in by May 31st, because then I start entering all that. So
Okay.
I appreciate that.
We could
Just
do-
over a month.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you
Great.
for your time.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, since you took the time to come up to meet
Oh.
the meeting today, would
Okay.
you like to say anything about this at all? Any of you? Okay. Okay. How about you, sir, in the
I
back?
would just say that
You want to come on up here, please, and identify yourself? Thank you, folks.
it'll be quick.
Okay.
I
And
would just say.
just
that-
identify yourself, please, for the media again.
Yep. I'm Ryan Morrow with the Natural Resources Conservation Service. And I'd just say that everybody benefits from the services that the Conservation District, provides. That when we're seeding grass, it's in marginal areas. So rather than having to apply fertilizer and work it all the time, and that runs off into the river, into Kapaska, into Pelican, they're helping out with the water quality there, right? Planting trees, we're helping out with erosion, stuff getting into the ditch, running down waterways. It's helping everybody. Also, all that.
Excuse me. Randy, can you guys step outside or? Thank you. Go ahead and continue.
Also, that CRP that gets planted also helps for hunters access. There's a prep program that goes along with CRP. And that provides hunting access to the public here in Codington County and certainly across the state. But there's just a lot of benefits that don't only help the landowners, but everybody in the county. So I just want to state that. And without the district planting trees like they stated, I don't know who else is gonna plant the trees. There's some people that do fabric, because there's some money in that, but planting the trees is. There's not a lot of money in that. That's purely for conservation, so.
Sure.
Okay, yes.
Now that we got you in the hot seat, Brian. In my neck of the woods, we've had a lot of destruction from wind. The tree belts are just terrible. They're just beat up. Well, my yard as well. Is there any programs that are available for these producers out there to help clean up the mess that the wind left? Because well, Kenny, you know all about it. I don't know if you have any tree belts that went, but I've got neighbors that just been devastated.
Yeah, there was a program through FSA, like after those deratios or whatever, to
Yeah.
help clean up the shelter belts. I think that's kind of closed now. But the NRCS does help with shelter belt renovations. So like, the emerald ash borer is here, replacing some of those trees and putting in different trees, knowing that those are probably going to die unless you're paying for really expensive treatments. So there is some programs, but as far as like cleaning up the shelter belt right after like some of those windstorms, FSA had a short window on those, and I think it's kind of closed. So
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Thank you.
Yep.
I guess one other thing I'm not sure if you guys know, but a couple of years ago, there used to be the Upper Big Sioux watershed.
Hmm.
And that was ran along with Watertown, the city. And Roger Foote was the manager at the time. And when he retired, Watertown decided not to continue on with that. So that used to be ran out of Codington. Now it's transferred to Day County. So there's funds that were available for this county. And one of the reasons that I'm bringing this up is we didn't have the funds. It was kind of offered, like we could have tried to take it over. The district could have, but we didn't have the funds to hire somebody like Roger to run it. So then the city decided it wasn't feasible or something that they wanted in their wheelhouse anymore. So they let it go. Well, there was, what's the funding?
319
Yes.
through the state. Yep.
So 319 through the state was funding that was coming in to the Cottington County to support projects that would go up the Sioux River. And that funding is now gone for just in Cottington County. Now it's in all of the counties, correct?
Day County is where it's mostly filtered through, so they get money for administrating.
But I'm saying like the projects they were mainly for Cottington projects and now they're for all of Northeast,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a certain stretch of the Upper Big
Yeah.
Sioux, yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Anything,
you.
commissioners? Nothing else? All right. Thank you
Very useful.
for your
Thank you.
time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right, let's move on to item number 7, and that is the Highway Department's monthly report. Get Highway Superintendent Randy Falvey up here this morning.
Morning, Randy.
Morning, Randy.
Randy.
Oh, that's okay.
Realize my voice carries and don't, or when it shouldn't go.
Small room. Right.
It was a busy month. Once again, we were fortunate with the snow. You know, we had to send the trucks out twice and more than once, so we're very fortunate. We have switched over to our summer hours, so we're at 4:10s now, Monday through Friday, 7 AM till 5:30 PM. Grand Guard Construction's continuing ahead of schedule with the 14th Avenue Bridge. They've got the deck port ahead of schedule, so the guardrails are up on the main deck. And they also have got the pedestrian guardrail up on the walking side, which is the south side. They started to backfill the ends, so hopefully pretty soon they'll be starting with the rip back. I haven't got a completion date yet, but as we're going right now, we should be well ahead of schedule, which is nice.
Wow.
Thank you, Mother Nature. We've continued to crack seal as weather is permitted between the fog, mist and flurries. Yeah, it's getting a little nicer now, so hopefully we're done with the majority of that. I did attend a spring flood planning meeting with the city police department that involved the emergency management team, sheriff's department, city police department, city manager and the fire department, where we discussed what we would do in case of spring flood. Well, obviously, we didn't have that issue this year, thankfully. So that kind of turned into a discussion as what we need to do going forward for seasonal flooding and spring flooding. And what to do to be better prepared going forward. And trying to mitigate some of the issues as far as speed, getting set up for flood control and such. With the flooding issue, Lynn, Lori, and myself attended the crisis track training, which is a software program that even now uses to indicate any damage caused by a natural disaster. That's the only way they will receive that information going forward. Holloway Construction out of Mitchell did finish up the project on 175th Street, which is the road south of County Road 9 at 458th Avenue. What they did is they repaired the wing wall in the northeast corner of that. We did place some riprap in there to stop any further erosion into our right of way, and then put gravel up to the approaches to make the approaches less of a steep incline, and then put some more gravel over the decking itself. I did attend the annual South Dakota County Highway Superintendent Short Course in Deadwood, where LTAP, the SDOT puts on a very good conference. Very informal, good information, and we also had a large amount of vendors that are trying to display their wares. We held a trenching class, which was put on by Safety Benefits at the Extension Building, where we got several other counties and agencies involved with that. And then we went to our north yard, done a trench, and actually assembled and utilized a couple different types of trench boxes. I attended the weather spotter training, which was put on by the National Weather Service out of Aberdeen, which was very interesting. Highly recommended. Couple of items I just want to mention is that the South Dakota State Highway 25.
Turn your mic on there, Randy.
There you go. That wasn't, apologize. State Highway 25 in Clark County, they're going to start their second phase of construction on that. So they use our County Highway 27 as far as a detour. So just be aware that there's going to be more traffic on that. Any damage and whatnot, the state does take care of. So they've prepared that quite well in the past, and we'll take care of it in the future. And also just a reminder, the low limits are still up. We do have a little bleed through on some of the roads yet. So probably within the next week or so, we'll potentially look at taking those down. So that's all I had. Any questions?
The 14th Avenue thing, can you say that again since your mic was off? So
Sure,
people
I
know?
apologize again
That's
for that.
okay.
14th Avenue Bridge is ahead of schedule. The main deck is poured. The guardrails for the main deck are in place. Pedestrian guardrail on the south side, which will eventually be a walking path, is in place. They've started to backfill the ends, and hopefully shortly they'll be looking at riprapping it and
Good.
finishing that up.
Okay. I know people will be happy to have that
No,
over.
definitely.
Right. There's no time frame on an open.
Not
date.
yet.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's be optimistic.
Yeah, this is.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any questions, Commissioners? All right, let's take item number 8 since you're up here, and that is to hire a full-time highway maintenance tech 2 position to fill a vacancy that you have.
Yes, I would like permission to post for that open vacancy. It is for, like you said, a full-time highway maintenance tech 2, which is our main operator. Starting wage is $27.66. We'd like to post this until it is filled. This is for a vacancy.
Motion by
Second.
Johnson, second by Gable to fill that position. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 9 is action to approve a notice to bidders for the building remodel of the county highway shop. It's an ongoing process.
Yes, this is the second phase of our building improvements at the county shop itself. So I would like permission to post this to bidders. This portion of it is to sheet the outside of it, insulate it. We'll get heating and HVAC in the cold storage portion, which is where the trucks are actually stored, and upgrade our electrical system. So this is going to come in and add a couple different options depending upon the price. And this would be open for bid on the 21st of May, I believe. Excuse me, the 12th of May. I apologize.
Motion to approve?
Second it.
Motion by McElhaney, second by Schwer to approve the notice to bidders for the building remodel of the county highway shop. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 10 is discussion possible action to purchase an Amazon Business Prime account. Brenda, was that you?
Is, so, a few of us have discussed this and it's been talked about for some time. Right now, quite a few of the departments order through Amazon Prime, and if you don't order a certain amount, you get charged the shipping and handling, or if you purchase the Amazon Prime, then the shipping and handling is at no cost. So last year, the amount of shipping and handling that the county paid was $584.94. The cost to purchase the Business Prime is $129 a year. So the cost far outweighs, by purchasing the Amazon Business Prime, the cost that we're paying for shipping and handling.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Gable, second by McElhaney.
Which, can we take this out of the commissioner's budget? If
Yeah.
we start trying to go across all these and it's some don't order as much as another and,
That's fine.
okay.
I'm okay with
I
that.
think that's, yeah, I think that's.
I'll take it out of 429.
Any discussion? The only thing that I would like to say on that is I want to make sure that we're doing as much business locally as possible. So those items that we can purchase local, we should try and purchase local rather than purchasing off Amazon.
Yes. we do.
So we would urge our department heads to shop local if you can, so that we can support our local businesses. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Set up.
Item number 11 is note payments for nameplate capacity and production tax for 3 wind energy projects.
That is correct. So this is a yearly
Is that what we have here?
tax
Yeah.
that we receive, yes, from the state. And this is for the nameplate capacity tax production. It's from the Crown Ridge wind, the Crown Ridge 2 wind, and Dakota Range 1 and 2. The total amount this year was $1,183,662.04. And then you can see the breakdown. The county gets a certain amount, the 414,281.71. Germantown Township, they receive 32,056.33. Kransberg Township will receive 38,257.73. Leola Township will receive 27,169.47. Rowville Township will receive 4,643.73. Waverly Township will receive $75,422.05. And then the Watertown School District receives $50,237.42. And then the Waverly South Shore School will receive $541,593.60. So that is just to note that we received our annual nameplate capacity tax.
And again, the
Payment.
total is $1,183,662.04. All right.
Now, Brenda, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is 5 years now. Next year that the money is going to the schools will be distributed throughout the state. Is that?
I asked that question and the schools will still receive it, but then I think it changes what their state allotment is then according to what they're receiving on here. So that will offset that.
So this is their big year.
Yep.
Any questions on that? No action needed, just a note.
Just a note it.
Right, let's move on. Item number 12 is action to approve abatement applications.
None today.
Item number 13, action to approve claims for payment.
All right, I dispersed that on your check register. It also included the jail amounts and I will take that off. To give just the county amount, and then if we can take the new jail billed amount separately, I'd appreciate that. So you have your list, the actual amount of just the county claims is $34,759.25.
We'll break those out into separate motions as
Yes,
requested.
please.
I'm going to approve that.
Motion by Gable, second by McElhaney. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on.
And then you also have the total amount for the jail construction, but I need to add in their municipal utilities. So the actual amount of that claim is $2,142,635.58.
Motion to approve.
Second it.
Motion by McElhaney, second by Schwer. Discussion on that.
So that's this big amount plus the utility bill.
Yeah, the utility bills added on to that, yes.
So what was the total on that again, Brenda? 2 million?
Total is $2,142,635.58. And that includes the $428.40 municipal utility bill.
Okay, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 14 is action to approve automatic budget supplements.
None today.
Personnel changes, number 15.
You have a few of those in here. One is for Doug Schimmel, and he would be a new hire, seasonal park custodian. His step is AA-A 1868 an hour. And another seasonal park custodian this is someone who's coming back, Steve Rondell. His step is AA-D 1961 an hour, and both of those, their effective date is April 15th of 2026. And then we also have Caitlin Bragg. She's a new hire as a correctional officer. And so her effective date of hire is May 1st, 2026, step 1, 2766.
Move to approve.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Discussion on any of those? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 16 is action to approve travel requests.
Yes, and you have those in your packet as well. Community Services is attending a conference and they're attending a conference and you have all that information.
Move to approve.
Budgeted request, motion by Johnson,
Second it.
second by Schwer. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17 is public notices. A possible quorum of commissioners could be in attendance at. Commissioners, do you have anything going on this week? Or we could have a quorum? I do not. All right, seeing none, let's move on. Anything for old business?
Mr. Chair.
Number 18, old business.
Mr. Chair, I can share a little bit on that.
Okay,
Just that, yeah, jail's
Gable.
moving along. We had another owner architect contractor meeting. So I can share what it kind of looks like. Picture. Give you an idea, so. There it is. Yeah, so you can see that a lot of the truss work, this is area B, what I'm showing you on the screen. In the background, you can see the the female housing and the juvenile housing area, that's kind of toward the back of the picture, which is the front of the building actually, but that's looking south. So, and then to my back, when I took the picture, it would be area A where the main housing unit is going to be. So it gives you an idea what it looks like. So you can see over on the left of the picture, some of the what's called hollow core. So basically that's a pieces of concrete that are laid on top of the trusses to form another floor. So that's going to be where some of the penthouse for some of the HVAC and that kind of utility stuff is going to go. But just give you an idea of what's going on. So we're looking at starting some of the roof decking here shortly, as well as some of the precast panel erection for area A. So that's the main housing area to the north. So, but yeah, so things move along.
Starting to look like a jail.
Yeah. Overall, we've lost on schedule. We've lost a few days to weather, but the budget still looks good. So, anyway, thanks.
Good. Thank you. Any questions about that? Anybody have anything else for old business? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 19. That is new business. Anybody have anything for new business? Nothing. Item number 20 is the open for public comments. Do we have any public comments this morning?
I had a gentleman, James Simmons, and he's out of town. I don't know if we can try to call his cell. He wanted to speak to you during the open again. We switched email addresses. That changeover happened yesterday. I was checking to see. I didn't.
Oh, he's calling in right now
Okay, good.
here. So,
The answer on that.
Mr. Simmons, can you hear me? Okay, good morning. We are up to the public open, so that would be your time to speak on your issue. Please identify yourself and tell us what you'd like to talk about this morning.
Yes, thank you very much for the time. Like you said, my name is James Simmons, and I was in there last week and I spoke about the agreement currently in place between Codington County and Flock Safety. That agreement is in a 60-day trial status, and that trial status ends on April 30th, which is next week. And I've been trying to make the arguments to the board that the county should cancel the agreement and not proceed forward with a full-term contract with Flock Safety. If the county does, however, decide to cancel that agreement, that cancellation would have to be made in writing to Flock Safety before the end of the trial, which is before April 30th, so before next week. Not doing so, not canceling the agreement, would automatically enroll the county into a full 2-year term contract with Flock Safety at $25,000 per year. So that hard deadline of April 30th makes this a time-sensitive issue. So therefore, I'm going to request that one more time, the topic of Flock Safety Agreement be added to the agenda for next week's meeting on the 28th. And if that's put on the agenda, then during that discussion, I'll request that the board motion to vote whether or not to cancel the agreement so there can be a public record on the county's decision. I would strongly urge the board to vote in favor of canceling the Flock agreement. It was recommended last week by Commissioner Johnson to not take any action during that meeting in order to give the board enough time to perform their due diligence and speak to the sheriff on this issue, which is an approach that I fully respect and completely agree with. But by next week's meeting on the 28th, there will only be 2 days left in the trial period before we will be billed $25,000 by Flock. And I'd personally rather see those funds go to the conservation district who spoke at the beginning of the meeting. So that's everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simmons. Appreciate the comment. All right. Any other comments for public comments? Seeing none, commissioner comments? Anything for commissioner comments? All right.
I was gonna say, maybe did we get that on the agenda for next?
Brenda's going to
Okay.
add it to the agenda.
Okay,
Yep.
that's something that we need to, and,
Yep.
and, we never did hear from Brad either,
I think he's planning on that next week. So I think
Okay.
he's planning on that
Yeah.
because it's he understands, it's accounting stuff.
So the sheriff will be
I
here.
also see they have another, they offered, did you get the email that they're offering assistance with audits now too?
With the what?
Audits,
Okay.
that's scary.
Yeah. We can have that discussion next week when it's on the agenda. So let's go ahead and move on. Any other comments from commission?
Did you want me to
Members?
speak about the?
Yeah, if I asked Auditor Hanton if she'd give us an update on the absentee ballot situation, since that is a statewide issue, and see if there was any updates. So, Brenda?
Right. As of so far this morning, we have not received our ballots. I am continuing to take names and phone numbers of individuals who come in, and I'll let them know when they come, and they've been really good about, that's fine, and they'll come back. They also have the opportunity to fill out an absentee ballot request form, which then we would mail the ballot to them when it would come in, so they have that opportunity as well. We're just waiting. I know it was a little confusing at first. Last week, I first came out and said it was coincidence that was on the radio, that the Secretary of State had sent out that we could make copies of these ballots on yellow paper, which is essentially a sample ballot. So I came out and made that statement at first that yes, this is an opportunity, an alternative, but those would all then have to be reconstructed on election night by the resolution board. So, how many would that be? And then there's always that potential and risk of, something being challenged or whatever. So, we received notice, and I contacted Allison then and got some legal advice, and they said, no, it would be best not to. The statute the state's attorney had sent out to us was in fact more so on election day if you run out of ballots. We don't have any ballots yet, so that really doesn't pertain to that statute. So that's where the confusion came in, and I had to retract that, and no, we will not be voting on absentee or sample ballot. So we're just waiting. No word yet. I will definitely get the word out, the radio stations and any sort of media that I am able to let the people know when they show up.
Great. Okay.
That's it.
Hurry up and wait. Apologize for the inconvenience. Statewide issue. All right. Anything else? If not, is there a need to go into exec? No need for executive session this morning. I'll look for a motion to adjourn by Johnson, second by McElhaney. Any further discussion? Not? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.